I was just coming back and being able to get up and down last night.
Oh, it was fun. Great to see all of our guys on the floor, mostly all of our guys on the floor. Extremely competitive game, and that's what we want. Every team is excited to start camp. We had great energy, and the second practice today, third practice, second day was also really good energy, and we look forward to coming back and playing again tonight.
You've got a lot of guys on this team who just are really good with the ball in their hands. I mean, how do you navigate that of like, all right, we want to give the ball this guy here and spreading that out, I guess?
I think that makes us dangerous when you have 4 or 5 guys that can all handle the ball, initiate offense, attack, and just make good plays, simple plays. And so we're working on who's our maybe 2-3 primary guys and like who's our next 2-3 guys that'll handle it. But it's fun. It's fun to sort of navigate.
I just think B.I. in particular go as a playmaker.
B.I.'s been great. You guys saw him at the end of last season. We put him in a position, put the ball in his hands. He really carried us. So now adding Z back to the mix, both of those guys are handling the ball. Then you got C.J., Herb. We got a number of guys that can do it, but B.I.'s been great so far.
What makes Brandon a talented playmaker?
Number one, his size. He can see over the defense. He's just got a high skill set. He makes the right reads. He knows when to score, when to pass the ball. It's a luxury to have.
One of the things Brandon said last year is he was looking forward to getting involved in more actions with Z directly. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of time together on the court. Now you're talking about using Z as a screener more, and we're talking about Brandon playmaking. Do you feel like those are going to be weapons in your arsenal to go against other teams?
Absolutely. With B.I. having the ball in his hands and Z running into a screen, what is the defense going to do? Vice versa. Z has the ball. Now here comes B.I. Here comes C.J. I think we're playing around with different ways that we can attack, but it's a luxury to have those 2 guys on the floor. We want to keep them healthy and kind of see where we go, but it's exciting.
You brought up CJ, and I think you guys saw a little bit of success last year using him as a screener for Z sometimes, even Jose. What is it about those things in particular that put pressure on the defense, that inverted, screener role?
It's tough with C coming downhill at anybody, but especially when you start putting smaller defenders into action with him. So you get CJ or Jose or even Trey at times, and they got small guys on them. They're setting the screen, and Z's going full steam. Both of those guys collapse. Now he's hitting CJ, Trey, those guys for open shots or play to the next side. So it's dangerous having him with the ball and small guys in any kind of pick and roll situation.
Well, considering all the injuries last season, do you think the on-court chemistry might take a little bit longer? Like, for instance, with the starting lineup, I think they barely played over 100.
Yeah, we expect that. We expect, there'll be some times where it's coming along slower than we wanted to, but that's a part of it. We understand those guys haven't played a ton together, but that's why we're here working. We'll continue to do it, and hopefully during our first preseason game, we can continue to knock some of the rust off.
Is it kind of everything evolves and changes? I remember when Tony played like PJ Tucker at the 5 and everybody thought that was crazy. Just the evolution of the game, like Herb's sitting here talking about small ball 5. Like when you came into the league, could you even have envisioned a guy like that saying something like that?
Not at all. I mean, you still had Shaq at center and Rick Smits and those guys like that. And, mostly every team had, 3, 4, 7-footers, and you couldn't win championships without going through a center. And the game has just changed. Now guys are extremely talented. They've watched Kevin Durant and 7-footers, Dirk Nowitzki be able to shoot the ball from outside. So the skill set is just different, and you can play smaller lineups at times.
We've heard a few of y'all talk about how CJ's healthy again. He's in really great shape. How is that kind of reflected in the way he's played the first 2 days of practice?
CJ's been fantastic. He had a really good offseason. He was in here working pretty much the whole time. We can see it on display here in camp. And he wants to continue to build momentum. Last season he had to carry a load with guys being out. He had injuries that he was fighting through. once again, now we want to try to put together a healthy season with most of our guys.
Do you guys look at the preseason games as sort of benchmarks of we want, X percent of our offense, X percent of our defense in place by the first game and a certain more percent, by the next game?
Yeah, we do. We try not to put too much in, but this group has been together now basically 3 seasons. So we know we can add more to our playbook. It's just how much we want to put in by the first game, by the second game. By the last preseason game, we want to have pretty much our foundation in place.
Through his first 2 years, you talked openly about, hey, I think Herb should be in consideration for all defense, getting that respect. What do you think it's going to take for people to start noticing him nationally the way you guys see him in the tournament?
I think they've noticed him. I think he'll continue to guard the best players and be recognized for it. But it helps when we can win more games and be in primetime games, especially playoff games. So Herb's one of the best defenders in the league, in my opinion, and I'm sure the league is recognizing it as well.
Willie, what's the plan for the rest of this week? Are you going to try and do a lot of two-a-days where they scrimmage in the evenings, or have you determined that yet?
We'll have one more. This is our last 2-a-day. We'll go 1 practice tomorrow, and it'll probably be 1 practice after that. No more 2-a-days.
I like it. Thanks, Cody.